Welcome, welcome, welcome to Gaming4Justice. I'm Maya Mama. We are live on twitch.tv/Maya Mama, or maybe you're listening to the archives on youtube.com/Claudia Alec calling up justice. So today we have our, I guess our normal, our normal temporary for now guest. Claudia, our producer Claudia is guesting with us. Anyway, Claudia, would you like to check in and tell us how you're doing?
Happy to be here on Gaming4Justice. I'm super excited because I got a brand new bed.
Woo!
Claudia's got a brand new bed.
Yeah, that's that's exactly what I was thinking. Well, that's awesome. Blah, 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 blah. Have you tried it out? Like, have you sat down on it yet?
Doing some magnificent multitasking while I'm here on the show with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also, before the game starts, I'm just trying to get the bed was literally delivered right before the show started. So I'm just trying to get the green screen set back up because it has thrown the space into a little bit of a chaos.
Well, it's a little cattywampus.
Huh.
Yeah. I hope that doesn't mean something.
You should look it up.
Oh,
and that was the day we found out that cattywampus was actually an old-timey insult for Jews.
Oh my gosh. No. It's just
That's what always happens though with American English. Like you're having a conversation with someone and then you're like, "Whoop! I just said some racial hate terms."
Oh no,
I was brought up with them.
I did a racism. Erg. Cattywampus is a variant of catawampus, which is it is an example of grand 19th century American slang. In addition to askew, catawampus may refer to an imaginary fierce wild animal, or it may mean savage or destructive.
You just said it might mean savage?
Savage, destructive. I don't think people are not I don't think people are necessarily described as cattywampus. I don't think so.
I'm gonna do some research. I think that you were partially reacting to something right. I think maybe there's something might be not quite right with the cat.
I just don't know. You know, it's there are complicated words. Like I don't know if you know this, but there's a phrase that is like, "I haven't seen you in a coon's age," and that is not a racist term. It is actually in reference to raccoons who live an extraordinary long amount of time for creatures of their size and species type.
Racists ruin everything.
They really, really do.
Like it would be nice to be able to refer to raccoon stuff, or like there's all kinds of things that I would like to be able to refer to casually and in a positive manner that racists have made weird for Black people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why did you decide to make... Well, and it's always because the racists were like, we don't want you making money or being happy. We saw you people making money and being happy with watermelon. So now we're going to ruin watermelon for every Black person for 9 generations.
Now we got
9 generations.
Eat it in private.
Was able to enjoy it. And it was because some Black women were profiting growing watermelons. That's why we can't have nice things. White racists want to make it horrible for everybody. It's a fun.
Everybody. So I've had a good day so far.
What was your day?
So I'll say this morning / last night. So I went to bed early. Because I wanted to. And when I woke up, there was a message from one of my friends, and they wanted to know if they could ask me, like, they wanted to speak. She's speaking to her child about, she said, a specific, like, racial topic that she wants to speak to her child about. And I was like, and my friend is Native, and I was like, okay, well, what is the specific topic? And she was like, hair. So her child is Latinx and Native, and her daughter was asking if she could lay her edges. She's 7. She wanted to lay her edges. And I was like, yeah, you know, like, well, she said fix the little baby hairs. And I said, yeah, I think it's okay if she wanted to lay some edges. And I said, and then I just told her some, you know, shitty stories about how, you know, it's important to understand, because here's the thing, y'all. It's never been about hair.
It's about appropriation. Stealing shit and then 10 years later claiming you fucking invented it. That's what white people do.
It's not. It's about not honoring like the origins and frankly, like I was like, you know, when I was young, people would, yeah, they'd want to touch it and they'd laugh at it and they'd make really awful, you know, they ask those questions that are not polite. Y'all, it's not polite to ask a child if they wash their hair. If they wash their hair.
Well,
good goddamn.
You're going to have to tell me if this is super annoying. I am fully doing like a gigantic deep clean on my entire apartment right now because 2 strangers were in it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
They touched some of the things, and so now I'm disinfecting. I can't stop myself. But I'm thinking about how it's a part of. I hate to say that it's a part of white culture, but I do think it's a part of white culture to enjoy going to marginalized people and acting superior to them and saying things that suggest that they are less than you. Mm-hmm. That's a thing white people love to do, and they love to like do it in a way that normalizes it because they don't feel good about themselves unless they get to feel bad about us. Weird, creepy.
Well, you know, as long as you can feel better or feel like you're better than someone, you're not the worst. And that's what it is. It's like, well, I'm not the worst. I'm not as bad as these people, which makes me better. It's gross. It's gross. But anyway, I had this really nice, like, kind of uplifting conversation, and she was like, thank you so much. Can I share these stories with with my daughter? And I was like, yes, of course, because she, you know, I was like, yes. And but also I had this opinion, and this was just like a hot take. So I'm going to share with you this hot take that I didn't really think about very deeply, and so we can tear it apart.
You might be completely wrong.
I think
pencil and paper. I'm taking notes.
Yeah. All right, get ready to just rip this theory up in pieces. But I kind of feel like because the child is not white, that I just don't care as much, even. But I do. Like, I'm not saying I don't, and I think it was important to have the conversation about, like, you know, honor the people. I said, you know, it's important for her to understand that it wasn't long ago that people who wanted those type of pretty hairstyles were looked down upon. When I tried to embrace black hairstyles, contemporary black hairstyles in the 90s, I was laughed at and made fun of in school. You know, because they tried to, I know they were trying to make me feel ashamed of who I was. And I said, you know, just remind her of those things, and, you know, honor the people that weren't allowed to wear their hair in those pretty styles. And also she's 7, so. But I'm glad that, you know, she's there. But anyway, my hot take was that I'm not as concerned when we're talking about a Latinx Native person as I would be if it had been like a white friend with a white child. Does that make sense?
here's the complicated thing. I'm going to complicate your observation.
Yeah,
further.
yeah. Let's do
You
this.
just named 2 ethnicities.
Yeah.
Those are ethnicities that contain all shades of the rainbow.
Yes,
You've
they
got
do.
white
Yes,
indigenous
they
folk,
do.
You got black indigenous folk. You got black Latinx folk. You got white Latinx folk. So, and then you got all the browns in the middle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got the weird way the United States treats race and ethnicity like they're the same thing, because the U.S. always wants to slip. It wants to make anti-blackness the norm, and the way it does that is it slips in anti-brownness and also anti-tanness. Whiteness is weird. So, I don't think that you can just be like, oh, any Latinx person. Any
Oh, no,
indigenous
no, no, no.
person, right? Like it's only because they came to you and asked you, hey, my daughter wants to do your cultural tradition. Is that cool? She came to you with respect. She came to you like a person of color.
Yes.
She came to you like an ethnic person. I don't know what her race is.
She's native.
I go, she did good because she came to you and asked with deep respect.
Well, she told me her first impulse was to say no immediately and shut the whole thing down.
Well, here's the complicated thing also, that because I go, oh, it's fine the way she did it, but her daughter didn't earn the knowledge, right? Her daughter didn't come to you and ask. And that's what I would have done. I would have been like, cool, I'm going to have my daughter come to you and ask.
Oh, I don't want to do that, but I wouldn't want to do that.
Gotten permission. Let's have her daughter do the same path so that she knows that she's doing a cultural practice and she had to earn it. And now she gets to have it, but she can't just give it away to anybody else.
Well, I understand.
She's not allowed to tell her white friends that they get to have baby hairs because she has baby hairs.
Oh, no. I don't think
Exactly,
that would be.
You know that unless she has actually gotten real permission.
Yeah, but okay, I guess I didn't really think of it as giving permission. I shared my opinion on the matter. I didn't give her permission. Because it for me myself personally, my biggest issue has always been about the cultures and traditions that have been that are first made fun of and then stolen and appropriated and made into their own ideas, and the focus, the hyper focus on this on the specificity of these things anger me a little bit. And I'm like, no, this is not the conversation that I'm interested in having. I would love to have a conversation about, culture and appropriation but mostly about how crappy kids are because their parents taught them to be crappy to the little brown kids at school. I'm more angry about those type of things, and I'm like, but also I don't want to talk to I don't want to talk to a child. I have no interest in talking to a child that is not my own child, and educating them in anti-racism.
Well, it sounds like your friend is, because your friend said, "Is it okay if I share these stories with my daughter?"
Yes,
that was your friend going, "Oh, I want my daughter to understand the importance of this." I think oftentimes we befriend people, white people or people from other races, and we allow them entry into Black culture, and I feel like that's been happening my entire generation. But then, like the generation right after mine, it got put on fast forward, and it was almost like, we were under the impression that we had been accepted into dominant culture, and so it meant we didn't have to protect our things for ourselves anymore. And now it just feels like white people can take anything that's Black, replicate it, and then call it Generation Z.
Oh, like internet language?
Yeah, it's just like Gen Z talk.
Oh my God.
What the hell?
The first time I heard internet talk, I was like, are you why?
But I mean, that's the thing. You only need to trick people for a couple of years, especially if you kill off all the people who are old enough to know better. And that's what COVID does. Yes, that is duct tape. You can hear in the background. I'm embarrassed to say I'm using duct tape on my new fucking bed so I can get this. I know. I finally was like, I'm an adult. I'm gonna have a bed that isn't held together by duct tape, and I have this beautiful $500 bed with a very expensive and brand new box spring, and I'm fully putting this green screen on using duct tape.
I mean, oh, you have to attach it to your bed with the duct. Well, you can get something that's better another time. I think that duct tape is always good in a fix.
I really love duct tape. I think it's the best.
You can get green duct tape is the thing, and that's what I was like gonna say. I was like, oh, you should get green duct tape, like green screen, like because you can get it the color of the green screen.
Oh, that's smart.
Right. Yeah. I went to college for long enough to accrue lifelong debt. Thank you. Okay, well, we are. Let's check out some games.
Okay, yeah. What games do we got?
So the first game I wanted to look at is called "It's Our Turn." Let me see if I can find a. Where's my information on "It's Our Turn"? I hope I didn't accidentally close that entire thing. Oh, no, I didn't. Good. So, okay. It's Our Turn. I got it on itch. It is a RPG style game.
What is...
which is a role-playing style game. It's like a... I would call it is like a JRPG, which is a Japanese role-playing game style, like Final Fantasy and those type of games.
Maya Mama, I was asking in a totally performative way, because of course I know what an role-playing game is. And then you leveled it up, and I was suddenly listening. Wait, so there's a Japanese role-playing game style? What?
Yes, Japanese role-playing games. It's like Final Fantasy. Do you know the video game series Final Fantasy?
It's a video game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a video game.
Yeah, so that's a particular style of role-playing video game that originated there. But this game was made by someone named Juliana Montes, and you can find them or find the game. I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the chat for their itch page. And this is a game you can download onto your computer, and right now I just downloaded like a demo of it. I'm gonna have to or actually no, it's not a demo. It's just a very, very, very short game. I have some other games that are demos. So let's take a look at It's Our Turn. I think it's very cute. So we have this letter. It says I believe it's supposed to say dear. My dear Eduardo, Mariana, Francesca, and Pedro, if you are reading this letter, it's because the old sack that carried my soul has been buried.
Aww.
There is no reason to cry. Dying is what we old people must do eventually. The best way to honor my life is for each of you to smile every day, being who you are. You know that in this world there's a lot more gray than the colorful souls that you are. So you're going to have to fight for your rights. I hope to not see you too soon. A big hug from your old man, Carlos. So it's like a little letter. Okay, and now we come to the first enemy, who is an elitist cashier. They're prejudiced.
Cashier.
Mm-hmm. So you can see that their prejudice power, which is their hit points, is 180. Their attack power is 20. And the victim that they're going after is Pedro.
Oh, the elite cashier is going after Pedro.
Yes. Now, it says, the group of friends go get something to eat, but the cashier looks with disgust at Pedro and informs them the dinner has the right of admission reserved. I'm assuming that, yes. So now, Eduardo's vulnerability is that he is gay and mixed race. There's a vulnerability within around racist people and whatnot. So let's see. So Eduardo, do we want Eduardo to confront the elitist cashier or protect themselves or defend themselves? So you can be like, yeah. So their courage is at ×1 because they're not the ones that are being targeted.
Wait. So who are we choosing to do what? Do we want? Is this what we do, or is this what Pedro does?
We are everybody.
Oh, we're everybody.
That's the
Pedro
style. So yeah, in the style of the Japanese RPG, we are everybody. So each turn we get to decide what each of the 4 little people there. We get to decide what each of them are going to do, and then he has more courage because he's the one being attacked. No, because he is not. Pedro is the victim. Eduardo has more courage because Eduardo is not being the one who is attacked. Because he's more privileged because he's not being attacked.
I'm going to say stand up for yourself.
We will confront. Mariana is black, and she is at a 0.8. So she's still pretty good too. She's not being directly. So we should say, I'm going to say confront for Mariana. Francesca, her vulnerability is that she's trans. Oh, but she is white. So she is 1.5. I
was going to say, she's a white woman. She will confront.
So, all right. Pedro's vulnerability is that he is poor. So he is at 0.2. And also he is the target. No. So we can defend or confront.
Pedro should defend.
Okay, so we're going to defend for Pedro. Okay, now we have. The turns have gone. It says the enemy loses 33 of prejudice. The team.
So it doesn't act it out?
No, it's not that fancy. It's nice though. I think it's actually quite pretty.
I wanted to act out them confronting and defending.
I mean, we still can.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. I'll be Eduardo. Hey, don't treat my friend that way.
All right.
You're Mariana. Be Mariana.
Mariana. I was going to spend $20 here, but now, because of this rude, terrible service, I feel like I might not spend any monies.
Okay, I'm going to be Francesca.
Okay.
I need to speak to your manager.
Yeah.
And Pedro did get hit and suffered. He suffered 10 points of damage. If they run out of because he's the target. But they did get 3 empathy points. And something will happen when the empathy bar is all the way filled.
Okay. All right.
So, next turn, should we do the same thing for the next turn?
Oh, gosh. I don't know. I mean, if more people defend, does that keep Pedro safe?
No.
Oh, well, then confront, attack.
Okay. So, Eduardo confronts. Mariana confronts. Francesca confronts. Pedro defends. All right. Now, the enemy loses 33 points of prejudice. The team wins 3 empathy points. Looks like the bar is full. And Pedro still suffers 10 points of damage. If we don't defend, though, it's a lot more.
I love that. So this very prejudiced cashier is losing prejudice points. So like that means I'd like to think that means that as we're being like, you're so cringe, your racism is so cringe. She's like, oh my god, maybe my racism and prejudice is cringe. Oh my god, I have to rethink everything.
My life,
white fragility or something.
All right, I'm gonna do it one more time. So Eduardo, confront. Mariana, confront. Francesca, confront. Wait, what? There's something new. And Pedro will use the power of empathy.
Okay, what does that do?
All right. Ooh, that hurt, though. I will read. With the support of friends, Pedro striked 50 points of damage.
So Pedro, for the first round, we were all like, I'm not going to want to spend money here. I want to speak to your manager. Pedro was just like taking the hits,
Yeah.
Finally, Pedro felt the power of empathy. It was like Hadouken in that one video game.
Yes.
And then like just this blind light came out of his chest.
It's like Super Saiyan.
You are so cringe, and I don't need to take this from someone like you.
Yes, I like it. Good job, Pedro.
She melted in. No, actually,
but she's not. No, she's still around. Hold on, because she did lose 83 points of prejudice, which is really good. The team won another 3 empathy points, but Pedro did suffer 20 points of damage and only has 20 left.
Oh my god.
So I think we should repeat the confront, and defend. But I don't know. I don't know what else to do. So we're going to try it. Nope. Oh, we won. Okay. Never mind. The enemy loses 33 of prejudice. The team wins 3 empathy points. The manager apologizes in the name of the restaurant, since their policy is not that. That was not their policy ever. The cashier looks embarrassed. You defeated prejudice. And if this was Final Fantasy, then you go da 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 da. Da, 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 da.
Artwork. I think this pixel. I always love pixel artwork in video games. I always do.
It is really nice. I am a fan of it. Oh, I'm gonna shrink this just a tiny bit though, so that people can see the screen just a little bit better. That's better. But okay, we defeated prejudice. Hooray! Oh no, racist brother-in-law.
Oh,
The family of Mariana's boyfriend invites them for dinner. His brother asks if he got the maid pregnant. That's a shitty thing to say. Awesome. Okay, let's see what happens. So,
Maya, I want to give you my response to that. I'm confused. Now, this is partially me not understanding who people are, what their relationships are. But, like, I don't understand what the brother is implying. So I would be like, I don't understand. Are you saying that you have sex with the help? Like, I'm confused. Could you explain it to me? I just don't understand what you're saying.
Could you please embarrass yourself further? I had a really funny exchange with somebody who was talking nonsense about women's rights. Like, just things that didn't. And I asked them a clarifying question, and they're like, "That's not what I said." And I'm like, okay. And they're like, "I'm going to bed. Good night." And I said, "Yes, it must be very exhausting to be as wrong as you are. Have a good night." I was just being a little snotty. Okay, let us protect Mariana. I like to think that all of these kids, or these adult people, these humans, were all raised in the same home.
You like to think they were all raised in the same home? They couldn't just be roommates?
No, because they all got a letter from the same father guy. Like, parental guy, because he wrote a letter to everybody. It's like all their dad, but they're all different people.
It was a multicultural family. Their dad is Brad Pitt. They were all adopted by Angelina Jolie.
I mean, I like Angelina Jolie for the most part.
I find her problematic. She has
Oh,
taken roles that were literally designed for people of color. And I think that when you have that much money and that much privilege, you should know that some projects aren't for you.
oh
So she doesn't
yeah.
get any cookies from me.
Oh no 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 no. Oh, ever? Ever?
Or, yeah, she'd have to do some pretty magnificent stuff to make up for all of the. Because, like, I also, okay, I'm about to give an opinion. I hope this doesn't make your audience mad, but I low key think that the adoption industry is a little bit like child trafficking. And I think that rich celebrities that get a bunch of children, especially when they're like multicultural and from other countries, I think that's so creepy and weird. So again,
Agreed.
I know that's a Claudia. Oh, wait, you agree?
Mhm.
Wow, I thought I was having a
I
weird
feel
edge.
I've always felt like it was like weird shopping for trendy babies of color. And it has
Yeah.
made me, and it always makes me very uncomfortable. Like, I'm not saying that I think that transracial adoption is bad, because I do not believe that. But it it just gives me a weird feeling. It just gives me a weird feeling. So that's just how I feel as well. I'm not trying to say that transracial adoption is wrong, though. I would never say that. But I will say that black families are often turned down for transracial adoption, and that is not a problem that white families have, and that's interesting, isn't it?
I had no idea that this
Also,
conversation
also,
was into adoption industry being racist. But
well, and
it's
also culturally, our public, because if you, I have read several accounts of black fathers who have had the police called on them because their child, who is not the same race as them, or who is lighter skinned, even if it's their biological child, they've had the police called on them and been accused of kidnapping their own child because they're not the same color. So, yeah. There's that too.
I did go on a TikTok, so you know that this is verified fact, but it's very, very believable. The TikToker was telling me about something in history, so I should look this up. I promise to our audience I will look this up in the next 30 minutes to make sure if it's accurate. But this is what I heard.
Okay.
I heard that the entire, like, making adoption legal, like it even being a thing, it wasn't a thing until they got rid of slavery. They made slavery illegal, and then, like, within a decade, the country was like, okay, we need to find a different way to traffic babies.
No, Claudia, there's always been legal paperwork associated with adoption.
I said that I would take the next 30
for
minutes to
inheritance.
look this up.
Sorry, for inheritance laws. That's why. But that's the only reason. Generally speaking, if you weren't rich or wealthy, then you didn't have to worry about that. Just like marriage. If you didn't have money, then nobody cared. Like whose kid was whose and who was living with who. Marriage didn't matter, and like the legal concept of marriage and the legal concept of owning your child didn't matter. And so I do kind of agree with you.
Look up the funny thing I heard from a TikTok to see if it has any basis in actual history, because they were making a point about the connection of slavery ending and people in the United States suddenly becoming real concerned about making the paperwork right.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll look that up, but let's continue playing the game.
No, that was very interesting. Okay, confront. Well, Mariana's courage is down, so we're gonna defend yourself. Keep yourself safe. That's what that's what she's doing. Francesca, again, being a white lady, 1.5. God dang. I think it's really funny that the white lady is just very brave here. Pedro, also, he's doing pretty good. He's poor, but I'm assuming because of the light hair and light skin, maybe he has some like light skin privilege type of thing going on. Although here's the thing, why if they, I'm assuming that they're all siblings, but why is only Pedro poor? I'm just being silly. Okay, so the enemy loses 33 of prejudice. The enemy wins 3 empathy points, and Mariana 10 of damage. So I think we're just going to do the same. Should we just do the same thing?
I'm curious as to what just happened, though.
You mean like if we were in such a position as Mariana with her boyfriend's brother? Yeah, I guess this is her boyfriend's brother, or something like that, or her boyfriend's brother-in-law. I'm not really sure what the relation is, but like, what would we do in real life?
Yeah.
Like, in real life, I'd be like, what do you mean? I would 100%. If my boyfriend's brother was like, ha ha ha, racist joke, I'd be like, what is that? What do you mean by that? Can you please explain to me why that's funny?
I was being really honest when I was like, I would have been the neuroatypical person in the room, just being like, what do you mean? Like, I just literally don't understand what you're saying.
I don't. What do you? Yeah, no.
Are you being a racist? Are you doing a racist thing?
No, I wouldn't even ask that. I would just say, what do you mean by that? Why? And then if they explain that because black people are maids, and I'd say, well, then, well, that's not really true. So why is that funny? I'm not gonna use the racist word. I'm not gonna say racist. I'm going to make them eventually have to say it, or at the very least realize, oh, I'm just being a racist, but I'm not going to call them anything, because that makes them be like, don't call me names, and then their sides. I'm just going to say, what are you doing? Why did you say that? What was your reason for it? Why was it funny? You tell me. I'm not trying to say anything about you. Because that's, when you say things like, oh, are you trying to be racist? Then they're like, they're accusing me of being a racist. And then they just dig in their heels. This way, the other way, I get to embarrass them.
I like that, and that's a really good piece of advice. It's better to question someone about what they're actually doing, not about how someone could interpret what they're doing. Mm-hmm. You don't ask, are you being a racist? Are you doing a racism? You go, did you just suggest that he had sex with your maid? Why would you do that?
I don't understand what you mean by that. Why is that funny? Yeah. Like, please explain it to me, so then I will know why you think you're funny. And then eventually they have to go, oh, I guess I wasn't funny. Oh, so, and then here's the thing, though. I am also, sometimes I'm not very nice. And sometimes I will at the end go, oh, well, then should you apologize? But that's because I'm not and actually that's not nice. Or that's not nice. That is actually exactly what I'm owed, and I'm asking for that.
Matching energy and not being nice.
But no, it's not that it's not nice. It's actually, it's just, you're just asking another question. Yeah. And it's not a mean question to say, do you think you should apologize? That's not mean. And I have to constantly correct myself that sometimes people are firm. And sometimes people put boundaries, like they set their boundaries, and that's not mean. No one's being mean to you when they say you don't get to treat me this way. Or if they try to say, like, you don't get to be mean to me, that's not a mean thing to say. That's a fact. You don't get to say racist things. That's not me being mean. I am merely putting down boundaries. You don't get to say racist things about me, around me. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear that you said it. That's not allowed. Anyway, let me do this real quick. Let's do this. Okay, we're going to do confront. And Mariana is going to defend. And then good old... And Pedro is also going to confront. Okay, same thing has happened. And now I bet we have the power of empathy. I think this is going to be pretty much exactly the same as the last thing.
I like this game because it's offering us the opportunity to think through the scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wishing it gave us a little... Like, what I like about your games is that they give you a bit more. Although I'm really enjoying that this is giving...
Oh, I died.
You died?
Yeah.
What the hell?
I chose the wrong thing.
Okay, what happened? Talk me through.
I don't know what I did. I just wasn't paying attention. I was listening to you. It says the enemy loses 33 prejudice. The team wins 3 empathy points. Mariana suffers 10 points of damage. Mariana is out of self-esteem. That's their points are self-esteem. So her self-esteem has been completely eroded away. Game over.
She didn't die. I thought that she had died. I was like, wow.
And now she's dead. The end. It's wacky, right? No. I want to look at a different game.
It's fun, though. I like this game. I began to play this again because, like I said, I like having the scenarios to talk through. It just makes me want to talk through them.
Yeah, no, legit. That's exactly how I was feeling about it. I'm like, I wish you keep playing, but also it's cool. So I am on itch.io. This is gunner-clovis.itch.io, and this is literally a single scenario demo for a game called it says UNLV caps microaggressions game demo, and you can I believe you can download the game for a price. And I'm going to drop the link in the chat for that game. Also, I like saying things that sound ominous, but are not really ominous. Like, you can do that for a price. All right, let's check this out. Can you see?
Well, green. I see a green screen.
Okay.
Much like my green screen that I have successfully duct taped to my pen.
Mm-hmm. Oh, jeez. Let's see if we can. I want to get.
Ooh, what's going on? What's this? Who's that place?
I'm gonna go ahead and reload this real quick because it sounds funky. Oh. It sounds really. Okay. It sounds bad in my ear. Okay. So we're gonna try it again. It says extracting story.
That had a more vibrant image than I was expecting.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's pretty. Okay, let's just start a game. Okay, here we go. It says, in the professor's office, late afternoon. Professor is an older white male teaching an undergraduate course in biology, and the student is a 19-year-old female Chinese-American undergraduate majoring in the health sciences.
Oh my God, I love these. I think this is adorable.
I find this incredibly it's inspirational to me because I'm like, ooh, look at all the things that you could do. Okay, it says, student comes to the professor's office to consult about a class project she's working on. Student knocks on the door and the professor opens the door. Student, I'm having some trouble coming up with an idea for this project. I'm worried I won't meet the class expectations and could use some guidance. That was cool. I see. Well, there's no need to get emotional about this. I know, it's just important to me that I do a good job in your class. Well, I am sure you always do good in all of your classes, right? Especially with math and science. Uh-oh.
Right, so he's already down a microaggression being like, don't be emotional, you girl. Mm-hmm. Now it's like, you Asians are good at math and science. There's nothing wrong. You're complaining about nothing.
Hold on. Let's get to that. Okay, so the student says, I am struggling to pass most of my science courses this term. It has been a difficult semester. Professor says, that is shocking given that you are Asian. From what I know, Asians are pretty good at math and science. So don't worry. I'm sure you will end up with good grades this term. Now, if I were you, I would just keep studying because you are good at that. You are good at that. And now it says, can you identify the microaggressions in this script? So now we'll have, they light up when you hover over them. So there's no need to get emotional about this. Well, I'm sure you always do a good job in your classes, right? Especially with math and science. And that is shocking given that you are Asian. From what I know, Asians are usually pretty good at math and science, or all of the above.
It's all microaggressions.
Correct. We won. End of demo.
Really? That was the demo? That was it?
That was literally it. That's the whole
hilarious.
thing.
I'm not sure if I minded that experience. I'm gonna say though, it felt a little. This is only the demo, but I didn't feel like I got a payoff experience at the end.
Agreed.
Like that didn't feel. I'm not sure what else I'd want though.
I mean, you can play the full game. It's a name your own price game.
Yeah.
And so you can, if you so desire. I don't know though. I'm
just not sure. Like it gives you more scenarios. I'm realizing, Maya, that I like your game. That's what's happening. I'm realizing I like your game because it gives me one character going through various scenarios. This game makes it feel like it's just random scenarios.
Yeah, well, I think maybe that might be what it is. It might be like a microaggression quiz of some sort.
But I liked the
style.
Example.
Yeah.
Oh, fun too. Well, what I loved about the style was that like those two images, not the same artist.
No, not at all. They look like images that were like just taken from places, and I actually kind of like the cobbled together. I like the look of it. Yeah.
I liked it a lot. All right, so we agree that we enjoyed the aesthetics of that last game, but kind of wanted more gameplay. How many games did you find to play?
5 total, but we're only gonna look at like a few of them. So, let's see. So we have Sim Uncle. Sim Uncle is by, okay, let's see. I think it's Etienne Desprez, which is French. Let's go ahead. I'm going to drop the game link in the chat. But yes, Etienne, which is French for Stephen. I'm not making that up. It is always weird, the information that one keeps in their brain. All right, let's check out Sim Uncle. Okay, so we have this familial tension, ambient race. Does anyone want more salad? So I did play this through. Here's the thing, is that this is a game that you have to kind of play quickly. So like if you, so people are going to say things, and then you are given a series of comebacks, and you have to go no, 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 or yes, as far as what you want to say, and you have to do it quickly, because if you don't say anything, you'll just be quiet.
Okay.
So that's the thing, because I got a little like, ah. So, and this is this was a submission to the Anti-Fascist Game Jam, which is kind of neat. I didn't know there was an Anti-Fascist Game Jam, and I'm going to have to check that out too. So does anyone,
Awesome.
Yeah, does anyone want some more salad? Yes, thank you. You know, I noticed something. Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm getting the pinwheel of death on Twitch.
No, it was working.
Wait,
I just checked it.
No, it came back. It came back.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Whew. Whew. Oh boy, howdy. It is unstable. It's funny because it was working amazingly up till now. But we're just gonna keep going. So, okay, yes, thank you. You know, I noticed something. I'm gonna read it out loud as well, Claudia, so that even if you don't see right away, you can still participate with what I'm saying out loud. Okay, it says, and so the lady says, I think I noticed something, and this man says, "What is it?" And she says, "Well, it's a nice dinner we're having, but none of us are eating anything or actually moving at all." What? Oh, I noticed that too. Luckily, we're not the kind of family that would break the fourth wall and explain that this game is a super early and incomplete prototype. Definitely not. So, anyway, did I tell you about this documentary I watched yesterday? Uh-oh. I can tell by the look on your face that a terrible joke is coming. It was this fascinating documentary about beavers. It was the best damn movie I'd ever seen. Oh, God. It was actually pretty funny, I think. Please don't encourage him. Your jokes aren't getting any better, Uncle, but I gotta say, your sweet potatoes are even more delightful than usual. Says, I put extra care into them because it's the only way to get you to come down here and visit. They're not the only thing I have to withstand your sense of humor. I'm gonna say no. Please, you know I only come here for Auntie's chocolate cake. I'm gonna say that. Yes? Yes. Because chocolate cake is good. That's it. Give me those sweet potatoes. You don't deserve them. Ha ha. Okay, that's good. No ambient. But seriously, I'm glad you could come. I know it's not great getting here by bus, coming all the way up here. It really isn't so bad. I just have to bring a book. Yeah, I wasn't thinking so much of that. Let's say you're not living in the best neighborhood. You feel safe walking around at night in that part of town? If I didn't know anybody, I would say you were casually perpetuating white supremacy and colonial narratives of the menacing other. I'm going to say that. He says, "Oh, yeah. Sorry. I forgot I was talking to a PC academic. I didn't realize you were so sensitive." Oh, sorry. Sorry, Simgle. Oops, that raised some familial tension. All I'm saying is that I care about your safety and I wouldn't want you to end up in the wrong place at the wrong time. This turkey is really good, Auntie. Well, thank you very much. I was worried it was too dry. I'm sure Tiff has misgivings about her dietary choices now. Oh, no. Ha ha. After spending the whole day canvassing yesterday, that would be pretty hypocritical on my part. Canvassing. Yes. Oh, yeah. What's your big campaign these days? Seal hunting. It truly is a barbaric practice, and we're trying to get it to stop. Yeah, I don't know. When I was a kid, I killed my share of chicken. What? It was just our way of life. What's wrong with that? Okay. Are you ready, Claudia? Are you still with me?
Can't you hear me?
I have not been able to hear you this entire time.
Oh, I'm with you.
Okay, good. Just making sure. Okay. What's wrong with that? It says, have you seen the pictures? Seals are getting butchered right in front of little Inuit children. Even if you don't care about animal cruelty, you should care about the psychological impact. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to say that. Psychological impact? How about the psychological impact of colonialism? Oh, no, I'm not saying anything. I'm just quiet. Dang it. Well, that's a whole other debate. I didn't have time. Uh-oh, ambient racism. Oh, people. Yeah, and familial attention. I don't know about you, but this discussion is making me hungry. Well, all I know is that you're looking. I'm still looking for work. It's not easy. Competition. In my line of work. Why is that? Well, you know, they're hiring policies, hardworking Canadians. I'm sure you'll find something soon. It says, right, because a straight white man living in racist cis heteropatriarchy. Any minor, no, I don't, that's a little bit much. What policies are we talking about exactly? I wouldn't expect you to understand. Oh, I thought I said it. Come on.
Hard, Maya.
This game is really glitchy. It is very glitchy. Let's look at I want to look at the next game.
Okay.
It's hard.
So while you're switching to the next game, I will give my short review of this game.
Mm-hmm.
I think I liked it, but I need to see their next version. I found your gameplay experience to be glitchy as well.
Mm-hmm.
This felt like it had all the pieces that I like, though. Like a group of characters that are all the same. An uncomfortable dinner party. It feels like it's got all the stuff.
So the next game that, oh look, I have it twice on here. It's called Cape Verde to New Bedford. Now Cape Verde is a it is an island nation in West Africa, and it has a population that consists of Portuguese and African and other European ancestries. And it was apparently uninhabited prior to the arrival of the Portuguese, and then they took people, you know, to be there. But this is this game takes place in 1968. And wait, no, this is a different game.
Wait,
The Camp Verde. I forgot that I actually had another game. Let's.
I was completely into this. I was like, Cape Verde.
No, I do have Cape Verde. I was actually on the wrong tab. This is Cape Verde. This is made with twine, so you'll recognize the how it looks and everything. It says, we gotta go back to the beginning. I'm sorry. Just ignore everything that's happening. There's some bugs in the game, but that is okay. Let's just go to start screen. Okay. And I'm going to read this. It says, your name is Lorenzo Rubin. You are a mixed race descendant of a Cape Verdean slave-owning family. Although by the current year, 1870, no one in your family has held slaves for years. The slave industry that sustained wealth on your island has been gradually banned by Portugal. Your family also made money by trading hides to America, but Portugal has severely restricted this business, requiring all trade to be conducted by Portuguese ships only. Since 1846, this is a very, very heavy education game. Which I find very interesting. And smugglers have been scarce lately. The Portuguese trading ships have never been common. Poverty and famine are increasing. Just 4 years ago, over 30% of Camp Verdeans died from starvation. Most Cape Verdeans now feel banded by Portugal, although it's rarely mentioned in public. Your parents have passed away, and many of your other relatives have left Cape Verde. Now you two have made the decision to look for a life abroad, a better life abroad. By the way, as a child, you did not like to go spearfishing, sailing, it says, by the way, as a child, did you like to go spearfishing, sailing, or did you just hang out on the street? This will matter. Sailing, or I'm not going to pick just hanging out on the street. I feel like it's a bad choice.
I picked because of Dad, because Dad was from an island and he sailed, and that served him well, having skill sets of the sea.
All right. There are many ships in the harbor that offer a constant reminder that there is a greater world out there beyond Cape Verde. They go to many different places, but most Cape Verdean immigrants, go to Portugal or America. In fact, 2 immigrants are temporarily back in town. One of your friends is a sailor, and his ship is in port right now. You also have an uncle who is a writer and a doctor in Portugal, and he is back for a short visit. You can talk to your friend about heading to America, or you can talk to the professor about heading towards Portugal. Do you talk to your uncle, or do you talk to the sailor? Your friend or your uncle? What do you think?
Uncle.
Okay, uncle. Ah, how are you, Lorenzo? Your uncle greets you warmly. How are things in Portugal, uncle? They are good, or at least better than they are here, I'm sorry to say. I was thinking about heading there myself. Your uncle frowns. Well, Lorenzo, the Portuguese are not very welcoming to most Cape Verdeans. You have to look at you have to look at certain way. Maybe you have to look a certain way. And, well, it's better if you complete your education first. He's trying to tell you in a nice way that you're too dark and too poorly educated to make it in Portugal. But anyway, why don't we have a nice lunch? You have a good time chatting about other topics with your uncle. As you part ways, he mentions, oh, and Lorenzo, I'm sorry I couldn't be more helpful to you. We have some family in New Bedford, America. I heard they are doing well there. You may want to consider it. But I don't know much about Americans. They are different people, you say. Well, they were decent enough to save our islands from starvation back in 1830 when Portugal did nothing. Your grandfather unloaded their ships with supplies they gave us. It took us a day just to unload all they give without ever asking for anything in return. I'm sorry to say that you may find a warmer welcome there than in Europe. Well, back to the drawing board, I guess. So I do want to remind you that this game is called Camp Verde to New Bedford, so we were never going to Portugal. Or, yeah, that was never going to be an option, but I liked it.
I had forgotten the title of the game, though, Maya, and I 100% was like, maybe we're going to Portugal. And maybe the game takes you to Portugal, and then you don't have a good time in Portugal, and then you go to Brooklyn. But all I know is, no, sleep till Brooklyn.
All right. So let's talk to this sailor. Actually, no, we're done for now. But we can come back and play this game. I think we should come back and play this game all the way through because it's super wordy, but I really liked it. I think it's very interesting and very educational. And there's another game, and it's actually very fun to try out these games on itch, because it's fun to support this community of independent game makers. And also, just so you know, a lot of these game makers, they collaborate with each other, and they have mutual funds. So like you can buy game bundles, and the fund and like whatever you pay for those game bundles will go to a mutual fund to help a designer that is in need for one reason or another. And I just think that is like really, really great, really, really cool. Community helping community. Yeah. So I think we did it. So I think the schedule said that I was going to figure out how to close the show. And so I'm just going to do it right now.
Smooth, real smooth. You got this.
Thank you. Well, thank you for joining us. Gaming4Justice is a... No, that's not what I meant to say. See? And I messed up already. Anyway. Thank you for joining us. Gaming4Justice is a Calling Up Justice production. Special thanks to producer